back. I can't hold it back.
Hey, everybody, good evening, and welcome to the 13th episode of Streaming Hot. I can't believe we got this far. 13 episodes, and we're still here and still, not running out of ideas to, cover for a particular conversation. And tonight is another exciting conversation topic. But before that, I hope you all had a wonderful week. My week had been great, and our classes have already officially started. And I was able to meet my students in my advertising classes. But just like the previous semester, we are still on remote learning, and we don't do face-to-face classes. We're just meeting online via Zoom, and all our students would submit their papers via our virtual learning platform in UP called LMS. Personally, I miss holding face-to-face classes because iba pa rin talaga yung parang natural, yung totoong interaction with the students in the classroom. But just like what we have been prepared to do, we have been trained to do this remote learning. I guess we just all have to stretch our patience and be flexible with the current setup because, as the saying goes, this too shall pass, diba? But who knows? Maybe this is really going to be the new normal, and I just hope that it's not going to people will not really just get used to it because I still like being, with warm bodies. Wow, it's early and we have a lot of people joining us. Welcome, guys. And I know a lot of people from all over the world are tuning in because, I invited two very famous people. I just want to have a shout out to Sai Calabio watching from Australia. I think dedicated to Captain Joemar Losaria. Thank you so much for joining us. And of course, my dear friend, Joe Andrew Turlao, Mayong Gabi. Drew, Mayong Gabi. I don't know if you're in Iloilo or if you're in Anilao, but thank you for always being present in Streaming Hot. And I know a lot of friends are also here with us tonight. Also, I just want to say a special shout out to my friend, Ana De Toyato. Please get well soon. I can't wait to see you back here in Iloilo. And let's just spend our afternoons having coffee and enjoying the, Iloilo sunset. So take care. Get well very, very soon. All right. So, guys, last week here on Streaming Hot, we have learned a lot of interesting facts about hiking the mountains and conquering summits. This time, okay, let's talk about seafaring because we are going to journey the vastness of oceans. Diba? From mountains, we go to the oceans. And I want to talk about this industry because we Filipinos take pride in our seafarers. I think Filipinos in general, all over the world, are tagged as one of the best seafarers as far as the practice and profession is concerned. But while many of us personally know at least one seafarer relative in our Filipino families, there are still so many of us who do not know the perils and the challenges of the profession. So tonight, we talked to two highly achieved seafarers who generously shared and accepted my invitation to be our guests tonight. I'm so happy that they're here with us, and I am so honored to introduce each one of them. I would like to start with our first guest who spent his career with the following companies, if I may just mention, the Magsaysay Maritime Corporation with Westfall Larsen AS. He was also part of Nautical Filipino Deployment Incorporated for barbership management, and the HERG, Fleet Services Philippines, and Vega Manila Crew Management. I'm sure he will just expound on this later when he joins us for the conversation. But ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my very good friend, the very young and the very good looking Captain Joemar Losaria. Hi, Cap. Good evening. Welcome. And it's so nice to have you here on the show.
Hi, Bob. An honor to be with the Bob
Oh my
It's
God.
been
That's
the company of Ilonggo audiences again, although just virtually. It's been a year since I went home to Iloilo. So, well, what to do? Pandemic.
but
So,
it's nice to know that you are safe and sound in Manila and still doing what you love to do, right?
getting busy here with work and the usual thing. So, just have to manage.
Yeah, and it's great to see you again after also almost a year, right? The last time we saw each other in Manila. Yeah, so kahit virtually lang, this is a great way that to actually kind of catch up with each other. So thank you, Captain, for joining us tonight, and allow me to introduce the other very much achieved young professional in the world of seafaring, ladies and gentlemen. He has been under the employ of PACC Shipping Philippines Incorporated. Please welcome second mate Mark Peñaroyo. Hi, Mac. Good evening.
Hi, Sir Bobby. Good evening.
Say hi to our viewers who have been
Kamusta?
looking forward to seeing you
Ah,
join us. Damo ka siguro mga fans of Bong Mac.
Hi, everyone.
Oh, di
Kamusta ka
ba?
mo?
Conscious pa si Mark Hi
I
everyone
hope
sa
everyone
mga
is safe.
fans mo.
Gani. Formal, formal eh.
Yeah. Sige lang ah. Okay, so Mac and Captain Joemar, we were talking before we went live on air, and to all those that are joining us, maano lang ko anay, ma-insert lang ko. Dr. Rafi Paler of Kalibo Aklan, good evening, and thank you so much for joining us. So we have friends in Kalibo watching us tonight, and of course to my friend Ryan Mark in Mindanao pa ni siya, mayong gabigid, and thank you for joining us, Mark. I'm sure ang mga friends natin nga nagalantaw subong, damo man ni sila mga paryente nga mga seafarers that at least ang buti nga bako gina, there's always
Oh,
someone that we personally know who belongs to this industry that a lot of us kind of desire to have at least in a way may isa ka member of the family, especially sa mga Filipinos kaysa Iloilo do damo-damo gidi sa mga mga towns with mga seafarers nga do nang it's a community nga naga-flourish gid no.
seafarers.
So yes, I would like to ask the both of you, starting with Captain Jomar, sa hindi pa siya seafarer, what was your inspiration or what did you have in mind nga kung nga nag-enroll ka in a maritime science as a college course? Did somebody sort of force you into it, or was it just your own natural desire to go into this profession, Captain?
As I reckon my history of enrolling to the school, I remember that I think the decision was more of an impulse. There was none in the family to begin with to look up to in a seafaring because most of my family are inclined to priesthood and military and later on politics. So it was on the day I enrolled to maritime school is actually also the day of my interview to one university in Iloilo for a pre-med course because I always wanted to be a doctor and things has a way of working out. But that is my story, and so I started there, and I learned the ropes, and eventually learned to love what I'm doing. I had the option of shifting. A year later, I enrolled, but after getting myself exposed in how it is being done, I finally learned to love it, and made me last for 11 years. And
Wow.
truth be told, seafaring is still one of the most fulfilling, rewarding professions out here for many, many reasons. So I understand why a lot of people in Iloilo are and nationwide are actually inclined to take this. And it's true. It's the driver of economy in Iloilo and many parts of the country.
That's an amazing story. Kay imo lang gid gali yakap yang nga selfie nga do gusto mo gid siya nga mag-get into the profession, no? Wala ka man niya ginpilit, 'di ba? Sa family mo to be
So
in that course.
practicality reason, but it was, I think, parang sabi kong ambush decision, parang impulsive decision.
Pero
So,
Cap, sa inyo nga family, wala gid ya sang seafarer before you.
none, none.
Wow. Very, very interesting.
Police, military. So,
That's
and
that's really interesting.
my two nephews, no matter how hard I try them to put in dissuading them to take maritime profession, they followed steps. So, and why I asked them, why do you want to become a seafarer when I keep on telling you not to? Sabi nila, ikaw you're there. You're an example for us. So can't blame us.
Right, because you did your job so well, you inspired your younger generation of relatives to also get into that, diba? That's great. We will ask you further about that inspiring part later, Cap Jomar. Now, I just want to ask Mac first. Ano, Mac, ang nag-inspire sa imo to enroll sa Maritime Science as your college course? Please share with us.
Ako, Sir Bobby, actually, the same as Captain Losaria. None of my families are seafarers too. Pero
Mm,
my brother also maritime education, marine transportation. So, ang funny story sa ako niya, ginagad lang ako sang babae, yung friend ko. And para mag-enroll sa John B, to be a steward.
okay,
Yeah, before my
okay.
interest was to be in medical as well. Kag
Mm.
kag nakuha lang, nahagadan lang. Ang bawat sige i-try ko man. So nagkuha ko entrance exam and then amo na patuloy naman. And I've learned to love this profession as well.
Grabe, nahagadan lang. Amo lang ginayaya ang main nga ginhalinan sang tanan, which is okay no, kay do nagpahagad ka
Oh,
man.
Di ba hambal ganin nila when they ask
hmm.
us what we want to be?
Amo yung
When
may
they,
idea ko sa brother ko.
Yes, sorry
Hmm.
Cap, you were saying.
they were, di ba hambal nila when we were being asked what we want to be elementary when we were young, we know right
Mm.
away.
Mhm.
And when we are about to enter college, we don't know. So it's a trial and error, and eventually, as you go on life, I think you find your niche where you really belong. That's how to look at
Thank you,
it.
Cap. Yeah, that's true. And amo na actually, Cap, ang isegue ko na sa next ko nga question. Kay, for example, you guys naka-enroll na kamo sa school, nakasulod na kamo, and I think hindi hapos, it's not easy to actually qualify for that particular degree, no? Kay do kadamo gid requirements. I
Yeah.
was told that you need to have like really a rigid nga screening process to actually qualify. So I'll start muna, Cap, with Mac. So tungod na nahagadan ka, Mac. Okay, nahagadan ka, nakasulod ka gyapon, kaya ang gusto mo lang gidyatanan ya maging
Nahagadan lang.
steward, di ba? Oo. So sang nagsulod ka na kag ara ka na sa program
Mm.
sa imo nga college, halfway, let's say ara na nagsugod na, nang wala ka man nanumdum nga it might not be for you, nga gusto mo magsaylo lain nga course. How did you carry through? Paano mo siya na-stretch nga natapos mo gid siya? And I heard you finished it with flying colors also. So, how did that happen?
Ah, um, siguro kwan, first thing was the unfamiliarity of subjects
Mm-mm.
nga wala gid ka idea since elementary and high school. Wala gid know-how sa navigation, seamanship,
Oo.
and other maritime subjects. And siguro because of friends, classmates, dira mo bla learn nga do ka challenging manggali
Mm-mm.
challenging sa sang bagong knowledge nga gaka-acquire mo, gaka-learn mo sa school. And actually, nakapasaman.
Because feeling ko balaan, Mac, ang imo personality, kung challenging, mas gusto mo siya i-try pagid, no? Which is quite a great, it's a good
Yes,
quality
siguro.
for this kind
Oo.
of profession. Yeah, that's a great story. I think you're very inspiring in that particular aspect
Oo.
for students, especially subong nga kadasig mag change mind, no? When they get into something and they don't think it doesn't work, they just wanna give up and move on.
Mm,
You're a
mm.
great role model in that particular
Yeah.
sense of perseverance. Sige, Mac. I'll now go to Captain Joemar. Cap Joemar, you went to school. You're pretty much going towards adulthood, no, or young person and ano. So ang question ko gidya Cap is share with us the challenges when you were in school. But I know you also duwagid ka mo ka mga ano gid ka achievers kay you graduated with highest, I think, highest honor. So ano na lang niya Captain ang imo nga mga challenges when you were also in college back then?
When I was in college, I felt that I was like weaned forcefully. We were forced to ripen, quote unquote, because I go
Uh-huh.
through the program, the Norwegian NAS program, wherein we were
Mhm.
required to go to join an international trading ship on our second year in college. So I was 17 then. So my first year in school, um, we were like trained to be not too long to our with our at home with our family. So we were just allowed to go home once a month, although we managed to sneak out. Well,
Mm.
and the subjects, of course, was not for the faint-hearted because we were expected to pass survival techniques, firefighting, safety courses, and also a lot of tough, physically demanding subjects. And to begin with, and at the very minimum, when you enter the course, you have to be physically fit, medically fit. Hindi pwedeng colorblind ka.
Mm.
Lab test should be there prior, and
Mm.
if you cannot qualify with the minimum medical standard, you will not be taken in by the college.
Mhm. Mhm.
So not only that academically demanding, but also physically, and then there comes the emotional burden for you to be away from family because of the anticipated 1 year of being out to sea the following year after you finish your first year academic schooling. So ganun yung feeling ko dati, parang sa saging, parang yung kalburo. Alam mo yun?
Parang minadali, Cap.
Yeah. But it gave me sense of independence, which I value until now. I mean, living alone here in Manila for 1 year or more, not basically isolated from the world, I go back to that kind of exposure and training. My sense of independence really worked.
But ano na siya Cap for you? That training na parang sinabi mo to quote your words, naging parang ginkarboro, meaning to say you're forced into it in a way to mature quick and to be ready quick. Um no regrets ba for you? Do you appreciate it now that you have experienced all the real world experience of the job?
I no regrets in any decision that I take. I don't have regrets. Otherwise, it becomes a curse to you. So whatever there
Yeah.
is, I seize the moment. I live the moment, and I do everything what must be needed now. So yun ang outlook ko sa kabuhi, which I think helped me a lot of in many trials. So
That's
yes,
wonderful. That's wonderful. Optimism can really get you far, no? And if you just hang on and believe that it can happen. So, grabe, amazing story and hindi ko kap ma-imagine nga amo na kabudlay sang screening process both physically, psychologically, emotionally, all these expectations to be part of a maritime school. Uh, parang grabe gid ang respect ko sa inyo and even to the students who are undergoing training right now in preparation for the job. So,
correct.
natapos nyo na ang inyong pag-eskwela. Yes, Cap. Sorry, continue
Our
please.
training is more of like semi-military, so it really expects a
Yeah.
lot of from the students.
But I think Mac and the Cap, ano no, tsakto no, do semi-military because you know why? When you go out to the real world for the job, you're like at war. Do ara ka mo sa giyera on a very regular basis. Am I correct?
Mark, would you want to answer that? Or?
Actually,
Yes.
you
Parang
are
is it
named
is it
as
like is it like war when you go
reserve
to work
naval
because there
officer.
are yeah, there are forces that you also have to sort of like fight back, and these
Yes.
are these are very natural forces. And this will be my lead in to my next
Mm,
question. I will first ask
mm,
Mac. Mac, take us back. Iistoryahi kami sang very first time mo nga nag-work ka on board, nga nagsakay ka gidya sa barko. Tell us your story. How old were you when that happened?
mm.
How was it like? Nakulbaan ka man? Na-excite ka man? Anong may ginubra ka nga sala? Nga do nahuya ka? I mean, tell us that very first few moments and first few days mo when you
Yeah.
went on board to be the seafarer that you are. Sige, Mac, go ahead. Tell us your story.
Yes, sir. I started my career when the day I graduated. I was 16 years old.
Wow.
19, 19, 18 or 19
19.
pala.
Yeah. Yeah.
18 or 19. And then taking a long flight, siguro, yeah, 19. Taking a long flight for the first time. It was from Manila to Dubai, about 8
Mhm.
hours. And transferring flight from Dubai to Bangladesh. Actually, the one was already excruciating. Aside sa kapoy, actually
Mhm.
mga upod kami nga dito pa lang sa eroplano, naga-suffer na kami. I don't wanna mention
Homesick na.
the nationalities. Pero tatlo lang kami Pinoy.
Mhm.
And then tatlo pod ko, then the three of us are covering our noses.
Oh my
Grabe,
God, Mac,
unbearable gid yan.
balaan ko na nga
Mm.
suffering kinaagyan
Una
ko
pa lang
mana.
na
And do amo
for the
ginaat
end
na meme.
flight, for the entire flight.
Yes. Okay. Sige. Sige.
Tapos
So,
kinsaway kami sir sangkuan, flight attendant
aha.
nga Pinay. Sabi
Aha.
niya, sir, baka pwedeng i-consider nyo na lang. Huwag na lang kayong magtakip ng ilong nyo.
Okay.
Parang ganun.
Hindi hindi pa to be uso ang mask mo no that time. It could have saved you. Yes. Okay, so
Oh,
nag-flight
yeah.
ka mo and you arrived in Bangladesh. How was it
Then
like
on
going
board,
on
sir,
board for you?
actually, one thing, uh, actually for me, it was a culture shock. Pag saka pa lang sa barko, so nag-speedboat kami from the shore, tapos nagsaka kami sa siyang bulkhead. Grabe kataas.
Mhm.
Dito ko na kuan nga maghagdan ka.
Aha.
Mm. Na culture shock ko. And then pagkatapak mo pa lang sa deck, mobra ka na dayon. So hindi kaya pwede ka kapawayanay.
Oo. Oh my
Once ka
gosh. Okay.
nagsampa ka, you're already good to go. Nga mabuli ka na yun sa operation. Oo. There's really no time to rest once you're on board, siguro sa.
Okay. Wow, grabe. So, no time for mga ano anay acclimatization or inaba lang maano ka anay ma-familiarize ka sa place. Gina-expect gid yaya sang mga upod mo nga when you're there,
Mm.
you're really prepared and ready to work. Wow. Okay, well, that's at least I'm sure the school or your training has prepared you for that, no? Okay, we'll now go to Captain Joemar naman niya. Okay. Cap, how about you?
My first contract actually parang na-pamper ako eh. Kasi it was a school for Filipino. And then for the rest of the contract, I was not allowed to touch a jet chisel, yung pangkatok ng kalawang. Kasi I was like,
Oh.
for a full contract of 7 months, 8 months like yata. So it was like it was a very I had a very good learning experience there. I was exposed to a lot of officers' work and also deck works. But the issuing contracts, medyo getting tougher and tougher na because like Mac, I also experienced working in a multinational setup. When I started my last cadetship was with full Indian and Bangladeshi nationals also. Sorry, dalawa lang kaming Filipino. So the challenge there for me was the food because walang Filipino cook. So I had to be to satisfy myself with their cuisine. So eventually I fell in love with it. Although if you ask me
Okay.
if I still eat it, parang hindi na ganun parang wala ako ng appetite. Pero yeah, it was healthy, it was nice. Their manner of cooking is exquisite because it's healthy, it's rooted to Ayurveda. So
Mhm.
if you look, if you ask me what was my first contract, the first day I stepped into it, my experience ba na medyo funny? Yes, I have.
Mhm.
Um, 2 weeks pa lang yata akong on board noon, nagkasunog. And
Mhm.
my response was not that for fire incident, but for abandoned ship. So I carried all my baggages with me going up to the bridge as if I abandoned the ship. Imagine, di ba? So,
Oh my gosh.
sabi ng kasamaan ko, ano din, alis ka na. Oh, uwi ka na. It was a small fire. So we managed to control it. And uh, the the very challenging part, I think, in my first contract was really the homesickness. So,
Okay.
but my being loner, introvert, uh, worked for it. Parang it helped me cope with that. And what was the challenge on my part is really to learn everything from the entry level. Bob, I'm the youngest in the family. My mom
Yeah.
would want me to wash the dishes, to do the chores, but
And then suddenly you will do everything on your own.
had to do it. I had to mop the entire cargo hold. I had to scrub the toilet. So I did all that. And
Oh wow.
you have to know everything at the entry level because that eventually will lead to your foundation as you ascend in the ranks.
Yeah.
So everything is a learning experience. Yung sinabi sa akin ni administrator dati, never administrator evidente,
Mm.
never let your medals, your awards forget all that. When you get on board, it's going to be you're there for work. You're not there
Mhm.
for mission. So you have to be open to learning, be it menial yan, maliit na trabaho, just take it and do it with your heart. So, yun. And the rest is parang smooth na lang because you take it openly.
And that's exactly why you have gone so far in such a short period of time as far as your career is concerned because of that attitude na parang just,
Correct.
parang don't hold back, just have like your horse's blinders and go for it. Such an inspiring attitude, Cap Jomar, no? And I hope that the young ones listening to us tonight or those that will watch this video later will have that kind of desire as well to succeed. Pero ikaw, Mac, nag-ano ka man, Mac, when you left the country for work, nag-homesick ka man? Nang grabe man ang hidlaw mo sa diri or sa mga tao di or may ginbilin ka din sang naglakat ka?
Aminin.
Siguro sir, mga kwana, mga 1 to 3 months. Mga that will be the processing time for being away from home. Pero
Mhm.
as the days mm, and you see that profession to as an opportunity well, kaya kalingaw ka man. You get
Yeah.
interested with other cultures, places.
Mhm. Mhm. Maano ka gid no, wala ka choice but to really adjust and just like what Captain
Oh,
Jomar said, he learned to love the food, the Mediterranean food. Pero galing lain gid yapon ko may Filipino food because it still feels like home. So yeah, but of course these are just few of the a few of the facets of being away
Yes.
from home and being able to adjust. And I think you have learned to accept that that
Mm.
was going to be your routine. Amo na nang imo nga magiging year in and year out. So now my next question to you, Captain, and to Mac also is that what are the things when you were on board and you've met your fellow Filipinos or maybe even other nationalities working in the same ship as you are, what are the things that seafarers go through na a lot of people do not understand? What are the pains of being out there that people will never see because we are not in the open oceans, we are inland. And what are your parang ano yung mga threats to your sense of security being uh, out there in the open? I will start this question for Captain Jomar before I go to Matt.
Okay, there are a lot of disparity in the usual land-based work setup with sea-based that would somehow have a disconnect with how
Mm.
people here on shore and see feel. So, as a seafarer, the first time you arrive on board, people here at on the land base have to realize that's also the start of their countdown of going home. Yes, it is exciting at the start, pero kapag paulit-ulit na, parang you always long, heart is where home is where the heart
Home
is.
is where the heart is. Yeah.
And remember that seafarers are there for work, not passengers. So they may not be able to attend to your question, to your concerns, sa family members all the time because they operate on a different time zone.
Mm-hmm.
So also, most of the time they're there for working overtime.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, for homesickness, remember that small good news really matters to them. Na even if nanganak yung nagbata yung puring o kaya nanganak si dog na walang buntot, they appreciate that.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
And bad news, no matter how small it is, basta it involves the family, can trigger seafarers.
Oh
So
my
if you
gosh.
are like the better half of a seafarer on board, you have to be very careful what you disclose.
Hmm.
Because if you can manage it, better manage mo na lang muna because you know how they think with
Mm-hmm.
the factor, right? So ganun kaya yung possibility, yung exponential na kaagad yan sa mga seaman. So we have to realize that too. And lastly, people need to realize that seafarers are not there at sea just to simply scoop out money from waters from the ocean. They earn money out of their sweat and blood, for heaven's sake. So please,
Yeah.
yung allotment na yan, please ingatan at use it also wisely.
Pero totoo yun, no, Captain Jomar, na when you are a seafarer, I think one of the most precious um, things that can get you through your daily life is really information to be able to communicate with your loved ones, receive wonderful and inspiring news, or kahit hindi inspiring, as long as you receive news, it can get you through, no? And yeah, it's something that I think is also applicable to some OFWs na not necessarily seafarers. Yung parang just the fact that they're away from home, all they need is to know what's going on with everyone that they care for.
And then
Okay,
the
Matt.
difference with
Yes.
everyone who is doing good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And yeah, that's something that people should really know and appreciate from here, from home, and how they communicate to the people out there. Okay, ikaw naman, Mac. What anong imo yang experiences when it comes to what people don't understand about you or your fellow seafarers?
Um, just come again, sir.
Yung I was
I'm
saying
not having a
actually
good
this is the
connection.
same. It's okay. I understand. Actually, I'm asking you almost the same question as I asked Captain Jomar. Na when you were sailing, ano yung mga mga gakatabo to sa inyo nga hindi naintindihan sa mga tao nga ari di sa inyong lugar or in back home, and ang mga difficulties sa mga seafarers nga ara dito sa Gua. What can you share with us about that?
When I was on board, I worked with multinationalities, may
Mhm.
Chinese, Malaysian, Burmese, Indonesian. And siguro one of the challenges nga ma-face gid sang Filipino seafarer is the communication because
Yeah.
Because uh, of our being, we have that advantage. Filipinos have that personality nga ikaw ba lang ma-adjust.
Mm. True.
So,
Yeah.
you'll be the one to initiate the work. You have to use maski gani sign language para lang magka-intindihan. And it's really the pakisama.
That's a great quality of Filipinos, no? Nga do actually ano gid man ta,
Mm,
we always give way and we're the ones willing to adjust.
yes.
At some point, too
Flexible.
much of it, yeah, flexible, but too much of it sometimes can also be a disadvantage, because some nationalities would tend to abuse that kindness, no? May mara gid na
Mm,
iya
mm,
una. Pero tiyang Filipinos, I think you will agree with me, ti buot gidya pero kung do medyo masubrahan naman, maguluwa gid ang abilidad sa mga Pilipino. Am I right, Cap? Oo, I mean, may mga abilidad ang Pilipino nga budlay kontrahon, di ba? Do
Kailan?
you have so ano na
tama,
Cap,
tama.
if you're di ba Cap, ikaw ang captain, if there's trouble among the crew, do you have to mediate? Is that part of your job to mediate?
Correct. Remember, as a captain, you are owner's representative. So the interest of the owner is always the order, peace and order on board, and smooth operation. So when there's conflict, you tend to shift your hat from being a captain to being a counselor, mediator. Ganon.
Oh
And
my gosh!
you have to balance
Tingala
things.
ko, sorry Captain Joemar, tingala ko kadako gid sang sweldo sa mga kapitan sa barko. Kadamo-damo gali sa problema nga solbaron mo.
It goes with all the work on and the expected na mga responsibilidad
Gan.
Yeah.
in personal, medical, security, lahat.
Mm.
Ganun ka.
Grabe. Such a tall order, Captain, to be a captain of the ship, no? Grabe, no? Pero, Mac, may pamangkot ko sa imo, nakagi ka nakita away or may kontra sa barko? Have you ever encountered trouble on the ship?
Ang lapit na lang. When I was an officer, I was giving an order na di ba, kay mas tigulang kaysa sa akon. Hindi siya magpati.
What happened? Ginano mo siya? Did you
Sugid-sugid
like
ko siya kay
agin
mate.
sugid?
So, si chipmate
Mhm.
nagsugo siya. Ginsugid ko lang siya kay chipmate. Oo.
Yeah. Pero ang Filipinos,
Sa seniors.
Cap, mas nami
Hindi
giman ang
siya
mga
magpati sa akon.
Filipinos,
Kay bata ko, no?
mas nanamian ang mga foreigners sa Filipinos nga katrabaho based on your
Correct.
experience.
Yes. For once, we are English. We have edge in sa English language, so it's not difficult for them to get the message across. And
Mhm.
we're we're not operating inside the box.
Mhm.
There is this Filipino ingenuity that we are resourceful in troubleshooting problems on board our way. We don't rely on it for ourselves, but kung merong resources uh, process o kaya paraan on board, we do it
Mm.
on our own. So that's one trait. We have initiative.
Mm.
Those are the soft skills that employers abroad are actually looking looking up to for Filipino seafarers. But mind you, yung mga neighboring Asia natin are also catching up. So we are not really so. We have to be not so complacent for that in that particular edge.
I was told, Cap and Mac, by some of my friends nga, well, they're married to seafarers, that nowadays it's harder to actually keep up with the professional demands of the job, kay do mas damo subong requirements on, particularly on trainings. Is it true that mas demanding subong ang training number, ang number of hours
Yes.
for training, and the kinds of modules that a particular seafarer will have to take? I want to ask this to, well, sa both of you, no? I'll start with Mac siguro. Ano
Mm.
Mac ang imo experiences? Kaya I heard when you come home, parang required that you will have to update yourself. Amugid man na siya, Mac, from your experience.
Yes. Yes, sir. I think that is the sad reality sa seafarers, especially subong kay we're transitioning into new convention sa STCW. So damo siya
Mm.
requirements and trainings nga
Mm.
naga-take up sang time imbes nga iupod pa sa family sang seafarer be. So nagakadto
Oh.
pa siya sa trainings, and it will not only last for a week. It could
Mm.
last for months siguro. And especially the savings.
Yeah. Because I don't know, Cap Jomar, mahal ni siya ang mga updating trainings, no? It can cost quite a lot, no? What do you think? I'm not sure
Yes,
about how it
uh,
goes.
the costing is really big that it can somehow eat the savings of seafarers and the time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if you compare how we handle it here in Philippines with other maritime countries, mas
Mm-hmm.
streamlined sa ibang countries because they only have one or two intensive courses and then they get the certificate.
Yeah.
But here in the Philippines, we have baby certificates. They call it the COP. In
Yeah.
order for you to get your COC, the certificate of competency. So that is a
Mm-hmm.
challenge to us. Kasi I think that's how the administration natin dito interprets to comply with the SCCW. Pero
Oh.
we get to streamline the procedures as we go along to the point
Mm-hmm.
that we require seafarers of what is really the needed courses uh,
Mm-hmm.
in order for them to maximize also their vacation time
Mm-hmm.
with their family.
Mm-hmm.
But really, that's a challenge now in the modern day seafarer that the time really is very short for them with their family because it's being eaten by training courses when they're on vacation.
Just listening to you and all these evolving requirements, to move forward in your careers, I can truly say that seafaring as a career is really not for the faint of hearts. I mean, you need to be very you have to be focused, and you have to be highly determined, to make it, here, or like, whatever it is that you imagine to achieve at the end of your career. Now, Captain Jomar and Mac, in the past, there's a stereotype na kung seafarer ka, um, grabe gid siya ang progress in life of that particular family, no? Because, well, we understand that the seafarers are earning in not Philippine denomination, and therefore, well, of course, and there's the pay is much higher than a regular profession because the risks are high in the profession too, and of course, your educational investment is not cheap, it's mahal also. So, is it still the same now, sa subong nga generation of seafarers, na their life because in the past, grabe gid man, may proof of success ang isa ka seafarer. Is it the same now for seafarers now, to be able to afford the luxuries in life that are quite visible? You can see it when a family has a seafarer. You can see the improvement in their lives. Can you still say the same thing for seafarers today? I would like to start with Captain Jomar and then Mac after.
Yes. Seafarers happen to be one of the best profession when it comes to financial reward. Our CBA are the benchmark of how we pay our seafarers are competitive when it comes to other nationalities. So, kumbaga, maganda talaga yung bayaran, yung swelduhan when it
Mm-mm.
comes to
Mm-mm.
ano,
Yeah.
compared to other. When you start here, for example, for a starting position, you will get right away around $500 to $600. As
Wow.
yun, for international na contract. No? And
Mm-mm.
as you go along, even for tankers right now, medyo mataas talaga.
Yeah.
However, it is also worth it to note now that the financial literacy level of seafarers have already improved. Diba?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Gonna notice that when they receive sweldo right now, they would buy a lot of things to flaunt and to show off. Right now,
Yes.
you don't see things on the surface. Most seafarers who are mature financially, but you
Mm-mm.
see them accumulating, investing somewhere else, and you don't see that on the surface. So I think yeah, it's rewarding. It has its disadvantages, but it offers a lot of reason to
Yeah.
that it's still one of the most rewarding professions here.
And I think Captain Jomar, it's really I really like the idea that financial literacy should also be part of the education of future seafarers because I think a lot of them would fall victims as far as the failure to manage their finances well, especially in the past. Yung parang I would know a lot of seafarers na one time big time umuwi, ubus-ubus yung pera and then start all over again when they go back on board. And I hope that's also a changing landscape now. My question for Mac Cap is, Mac, have you invested well so far as your how you've earned yourself based on your experiences? Did you invest it well? Did you work well on your finances? What can you share with us about it?
As of now, sir, siguro on my part, I haven't done,
It's okay because you're young, so
but
it's
it
okay.
helped us, my family, to build our
Uh-huh.
house,
Mm,
to
mm.
build our house, and then I'm actually thinking of investing into something. Actually, I started an investment in a business, but it's still
That's
growing.
nice.
Um,
That's great, Mac. Yeah, it's wonderful to know that. Yeah, I think that's what many people would be inspired, especially na at a young age. And you're earning so much. I think investment is really important, and it's really up to you what kind of investment you want to engage in, as long as it will really benefit you. Now, okay. For everyone watching us tonight, kadamo di sa mga messages sa naton, I would like to just make special mention. Well, we have my cousin Manang Elaine, who's a good friend of Captain Jomar. I love you, kuno Jomar Losaria.
Love you,
Manang
Lane.
Elaine. Yeah, she loves you so much. She
He's
made
my
that very
number one
clear.
fan.
Number one fan. Lau Makinto, hi Sir Bob, watching with Kadoy. And Kadoy is also watching. Kadoy is actually also a seafarer who just arrived from work. And so welcome home, Kadoy, and I hope to catch up with you guys soon. And I'd like to hear your stories as well. I actually wanted to guest you, but I'm not sure if you're already, like done with your quarantine or whatever, but we'll have another time for that. Okay, Nang Elaine has a question for Captain Jomar. Who did you miss most when you were on board? You cannot not answer that because she will get really upset if you don't answer that question.
Lady, this is supposed to be a wholesome show.
Kung hindi si Captain Jomar magsabat, i-PM yun na lang na si Manang. I think that should be fine. Kabudlay, gid kami mga babalaan niya kasi kung sino na hidlawan mo siguro, Cap.
Correct. I'm not yet. I haven't arrived to the time yet, Lane, where I have to tell the truth. Trending this weekend.
This show is gonna rate very, very high. Ano sa bat ya kapo kayuha sa bat. Okay, Manang. Ano na lang, i-message ka na lang kuno ni Captain Joemar.
Privately, Lane. Here comes
Privately. Yeah, everyone watching us, thank you very much. Okay. Well, we're almost an hour running on our show, and there's still a lot more to explore about this profession. But I think to cap all of these discussions properly, I would like you guys to at least give a message to everyone nga kadamo damo to tell you the truth, kadamo gid sang mga estudyante nga nag-aspire to become seafarers, and more than the financial promise of the career, I think they also see a lot of fulfillment based on the people that inspire them, like you guys. They see you to be very very fulfilled with your jobs, and you even go out of your norms just to actually do other things that also inspire. So if you can give a message to everyone watching us tonight nga naga-dream of becoming a seafarer, now is the time to take it away and give them your piece of advice. I would like to start with Captain Joemar.
Okay, and let me give several points and my advice for those who are aspired to be seafarers. The first, work on your qualification and avail company sponsorships if you can, because that will ensure swift employment ticket. And it's also wise if you don't have a company scholarship to tap on your connections, because that's the sad reality of how it is being done right now in the industry. Tap connections with people who is already employed in the company, and also have the conviction. Like what we said earlier, it's not for the faint-hearted. And be open always to learning, and be healthy. Yes, because your employability will always be equated to your pre-employment medical examination. Once you're unfit for work, that's not going to that makes your embarkation impossible. And this pandemic has also taught us that one thing that even the healthcare system has not given emphasis that much, that the importance of one's resistance and immune system will really be a key factor in our survival. So always, please be healthy. And when you're there, in order for you to have staying power or years of service in seafaring, always be adaptable. Be open to learning, because again, pandemic has taught us that the best way to be extinct is not to be open to learn. And you have to learn to adapt with the changing times. You have to learn how to use a lot of apps that could facilitate transmitting of messages remotely. You have to know the financial tech apps and mobile applications, emails, how we do meetings right now like this. And of course, as a seafarer, you have to know that you are an OFW. You have your entry plan when you start, right? But a lot of seafarers forget the exit plan.
Yeah.
So, so they have to know what's the best, or what's the wise way to handle their money, so that they get to escape and to exit the right time, when the right time comes. And of course, you have to also manage your relationships in order for you to have your support system when you're there, because it's going to be a harsh environment out there. And my last take would be grow spiritually. When you're out there, it's like you're floating in a deadly basin. You don't know what's going to happen the next minute. So, holding on to the higher power will give you strength to continue no matter how challenging things will get. That's it.
That's so very well said, Captain. As in, you are truly a captain with the way you enumerated all of those things. Very, very helpful. I'm sure na appreciate gid ni Ma'am Elset Lazaro all those enumerated things that you have given. Very, very helpful. Gapamati lang ko, do gusto ko maging seafarer. Ambot lang,
Oh,
hindi na ako pwede. Kay tigulang na. Okay, Mac. Ikaw naman, Mac. Anong message mo sa mga ga-aspire nga maging seafarer from your own experience? Ang anong ginubra mo to get to where you are? Ano mga ma-share mga advice sa mga gusto man maging pareho sa imo?
Yeah. On my end, siguro, sir, siguro precaution lang. This is not a smooth sailing coated profession as you can see in the social media nga may vlog nga travel vlogger ka. No, it's not that. Pag obra gid siya. And you every day on board 24/7 emergency. So one step, one foot on the graveyard agad.
Right.
Ano
So
di kaya ang
if
mga
you think
vloggers
that this
tingin
is
na
the calling,
pakikita nila
just go on
ang
for
mga
it
travel.
and push through it and be
Mm-mm.
prepared. Oh. So you really have to be prepared physically, mentally, emotionally, psychologically, and especially spiritual. That's all, sir.
Ka-important gid sinasang spirituality, I think, no, because both Captain Joemar and Mac mentioned that, because if you're out there tuod, there's nothing to hold on to but your own faith and your own spirituality. So I guess that's really important, especially for professions that require you to be away from your loved ones, to be away from home. And it's a great piece of advice, because with the right strength of faith, it can really get you through in any challenge and difficulty. So it's such a beautiful way to end this discussion. At the end of the day, it's really about you and your way of connecting to your to your God, whatever it is in form and in shape. But
Your faith.
we have all that one God, no, sa aton.
Mm.
So with that being said, kadamo pagid ko sang gusto ipamangkot, kadamo pagid, but we've reached really a wonderful amount of information, of sharing your personal insights, especially the two of you, Captain Jomar and Sir Mac. Your experiences are valuable. Si Captain Jomar, do pwede na gid siya maging life coach. I think our viewers tonight would want to get in touch with you. Si Mac, makita nyo ni siya sa Iloilo. Matangla ka muna, kay do model na siya, taas na siya nga tao, no? Galing kay maskara, hindi mo makita ang iyang maanyag nga itsura. Pero nagwa na siya Captain Jomar sa sini, pero si ano lang manugid. Si JP lang manugid kung ano iyang role. Nakita ko na.
Watch
But yes. Amo na siling ko basta basta mga tawag ni kani, may mga professions nga do may ara kapag gid heart nga pwede mo obrahon iban nga bagay, nagagwa gid siya pareho kay Mac artista gid kung bisan hindi gid mapunggad, no? But anyway, guys, it's been a wonderful hour that I have spent with you, and to all those that have joined us, our friends online, thank you very much. And to all those watching on YouTube, we're also live on my channel tonight. Thank you for staying with us for this 1 hour. Once again, to Sir Jomar and Sir Mac, thank you so much for your time, and thank you for sharing with us your valuable stories and advice about seafaring. And always take care, Captain Jomar in Manila and Mac here in Iloilo. And I hope to see you both very, very soon. And to all those watching, we'll see you again next week for another exciting episode here on Streaming Hot. As of now, I'm preparing for one big topic, but I'm just confirming with my guest kung available siya. But I'm sure you'll be excited for the next topic next week. So this has been a wonderful Sunday together with Captain Jomar and Sir Mac. And to all those watching, again, thank you very much and have a wonderful Sunday. Good night, everyone.
Good night.